we're going to have a little chat about a product that I would consider a 5-letter swear word. Henna. Henna. Having been tested for multiple allergies, finding out that I am allergic to nickel and fragrances, I was given a very thorough list of products by which I am only supposed to use. I mean, it ranges from eye drops, which I don't have contacts, I don't need, but these are one of the things on the list, to household cleaners, to beauty products. So hair care products and makeup products. These things are items that I used on a daily basis, whether it was getting ready for my job in the morning, doing my hair and makeup, or doing clients behind the chair. So this was extremely limiting. I was sad. It made me sad to think that not only have I become accustomed to using these professional products that I can no longer use, but they were actually contributing to the eventual failing of my health. And I think that we can all relate in some way. I know so many people who, they can't use certain brands, or they can't use mascaras, or they can't wear fragrance anymore. I mean, there's so many different ways that it has, that it's become more and more commonplace. So I look on this list and I'm looking like, oh my God, please let there be something that I can use to color my hair. I'm a hairstylist. Like, I have been for almost 20 years. And lo and behold, there was this little segment, hair dyes. The first one is henna. I think it's called Light Mountain Natural. I'm not trying to throw shade on them. This is a product line that was available for me to use. It doesn't have added fragrance. It doesn't have a lot of different hennas in the past. Maybe they've revised them, but a lot would add some sort of metallics to the formulation, some sort of metals. This one does not. So I thought,
Kind of makes me nervous.
I have, again, extensive experience with color, with dyes. I I know what I'm doing there. Henna, henna is another world. It is an actual stain, which can be a bit more limiting. There's a little bit less control there. So it was a little mysterious. But I appreciate a challenge. I thought about it, and while I was thinking about it, there were two brands on there of professional hair color lines. One was the L'Oreal Inoa, Inoa, and then the other one was Matrix Color Insider. Both of them, at the time that I was getting this list, were going through a reformulation. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I can stock up on their prior formula, because I don't know if this new formulation is going to be okay for me. So I did. I actually went. They had some clearance color that I picked up, and so I started using the L'Oreal Inoa, and that seemed to be fine. I had some stuffiness, some kind of itchiness, redness. My eczema, I only have eczema now since I've had allergies, and apparently that's the way that my body displays the allergy is, and it's, thank goodness, thank the Lord, it is eczema that flares up only in my face, which, I don't know, out of all the places on my body, my face, you can't hide that. So there again, that was another difficulty. Like, I'm in the beauty business, and I'm not feeling so beautiful when I have these flare-ups. And no matter how I want to protest being vain, there is a level of vanity absolutely. That comes with either the motivation to be in the beauty business or or you just grow into it. You're behind a chair looking in a mirror all day long, and there's something extra psychological about that. So anyways, I was going about using the color Inoa and it was going okay, but I was still having flare-ups. And honestly, I couldn't say at that point if it was the color itself or if it was other things in my environment, or things that I was eating at that time. Because again, nickel is sneaky. And so that's a whole nother video, I guess. So after a while, I thought, all right, maybe it's the color, maybe it's not, but I'm willing to venture out and try out the henna again. I had used it years ago, five 5 or 6 years ago. I had done just the regular, I think it's a fox red, and it was pretty orange. And that's not really the direction I was going this time around. I wanted it to be much more like a softer golden copper versus super bright, intense orange copper. So I got the auburn package, which I think has a cheetah on it. It says it's auburn. It's the only auburn because there again, auburn has a bit of a brown red base. So it's not going to be as light or as bright. So I thought, okay, this'll be good. I had a lot of blonde highlights in my hair. So again, I thought, okay, well, that'll probably tone down a little bit. Anyways, I thought, okay, Auburn will work well. Nope. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I was speechless because, first of all, I saw no freaking red. No red at all. Let alone, it was just straight brown. And in my opinion, not a pretty brown. It was like the color of my natural hair, but where the highlights were the lightest, it had a green tinge to it. There was no warmth. No warmth at all. Not even in the areas that I had more of that red tone to it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I left it on for 4 hours because that's what was recommended. And I mixed it according to instructions. I like to do my research. I watched plenty of YouTube videos, which there's really not a ton out there. I watched the video that the company produced on it. I looked at Pinterest posts on different formulations. You can use chamomile tea, you can use black tea, you can all different ways of formulating it. And I just went basic because again, I thought, no, auburn that's what I want. That's not at all what I got. And so then I spent the next couple days trying to lift it out. It said on the package, if you aren't happy with it or you want to lighten it up, get in there as soon as you can. Like start working it out as soon as you can. The longer it sits in the hair, because you're supposed to allow 2 to 3 days or so before you actually wash it. You just rinse the actual henna out. You rinse it. There's no shampoo or anything involved. So that's what I did. When I stepped out of the shower and I dried it and was speechless, I thought, oh, heck no. Like, I am using clarifying shampoo. If I've got it, I gotta work this out. The color was sifting out. It and still is. Like, I like this color. It's much better. I'm not bummed about it. I do like it. I think maybe a little bit brighter. That's what I was kind of going for this time around. Not necessarily when I did the henna. I was not expecting this result. But again, after it being like so drab, in my opinion, when you're used to something more like this, I couldn't handle the dark or the drab again, in my opinion. So yeah, this is where I'm at now. I still see some of that like dingy greenish tone in some of the pieces. So if you have been getting your hair professionally done, if you're used to having multiple dimension in your hair, if you like to change your colors, even if it's a little bit, if you like to alter your color, add some highlights, do some low lights, go a little bit less golden, go a little bit more neutral. If you like that flexibility, don't use henna. Just don't do it. I can't not recommend it more. Also, and this is something that some people have addressed on their channels when it comes to henna, I want to dispute it. It has been said that, oh, henna doesn't cause hair fallout, doesn't cause your hair to fall out. I would argue that. I had so much fallout when I rinsed the henna out, and I know how to handle hair. I know when it's been dried up like that, because you have to let it dry. I mean, you wrap your hair in plastic wrap, but essentially it dries out a bit. I know that makes it more susceptible to break. I didn't mess with it. I didn't drag my fingers through it to get the henna out when I was rinsing it. There was nothing like that. And I looked at my hairs. I looked at the hair, at the gob of hair in my hand to see, is it breaking? Is that what's happening? No, because on the end of the hair was the follicle. Like it had just shed. And it was a substantial amount of hair. My theory, my presumption, I guess, is that as this paste is sitting on your hair, on your head, I believe,
And this could be just for Caucasian hair, because our hair is very different than any type of ethnic hair. We have generally finer strands. We don't have kind of like the thicker skin that ethnicities do, so our scalps are more sensitive. I don't know if you've ever had like cornrows done, but I give kudos to those who do because it's painful.
so anyways, we have different hair, and it may be that henna works well for Indian hair, Asian hair, African hair. That's awesome. And I've seen it and it's beautiful. But for this white girl's head, it wasn't so good. I think it really was the weight of the henna. I don't think it was like necessarily an allergic reaction, because again, like I didn't have allergies from it. I didn't have stuffiness. I didn't go through all of the things that I know are symptoms of an allergic reaction. And it was in the shower. And again, I brushed through my hair. I know what usual fallout from washing my hair is. This was not it. This was beyond that. I think it was the weight of that paste and it drying that, yeah, whatever hairs might have been close to falling out, it really encouraged that. And what scares me about that is if you pull out a hair when it's not at that stage of shed, it may not grow back. So this may seem or sound like I'm being an alarmist, but I don't think so. I think that ultimately, for certain people, it may actually thin your hair out. Like,
you're not getting those hairs back.
And that's very discouraging. So in case I was unclear in any way, the official Rosie review is like a -5 on a 0 to 5. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Talk to your local hairstylist. if you have fragrance issues, if you're starting to exhibit any type of allergic reactions to these things, do a little research. As for me and what I've discovered with my allergies, L'Oreal Inoa and I can't even say Matrix Color Insider because they've actually discontinued it. But L'Oreal Inoa, because it's ammonia free, it's an oil-based color line. That's what I can use. I will not be trying out, experimenting, nothing. No more. No more henna.